How would you describe Ketanji Brown Jackson and Barack Hussein Obama? Now, they are different people. Barack Hussein Obama is clever and smart and plotting and charismatic, or he used to be. He's in that fat Elvis stage of charisma now where it's stale and old and the act is old and it doesn't work anymore and the fake pauses and the fake thoughtfulness. People have caught on to that this is just part of shtick, Obama shtick. Ketanji Brown Jackson, how would you describe her? I mean, the easy way to describe her is what she is. She's a DEI placement on the Supreme Court. She's there because she is black, which she agrees with that. So she has a lot more melanin in her skin than a lot of folks have, so darker shades. And because she's a woman, which is something with which Ketanji Brown Jackson doesn't necessarily agree, because Ketanji Brown Jackson famously testified that she has no idea what a woman is. But how would you describe these two? Liars? Okay. Seekers of power? Fair enough. Socialists? Great. Maoists? Even better. But you know what they really are? Is they are black on black mental abusers. That's what they are. They are black people abusing the minds of black people. This is Ketanji Brown Jackson, and she is asking questions and having an interaction at the Supreme Court case about Louisiana's redistricting. What Ketanji Brown Jackson wants is to have another all-black district, a district voting district created based solely upon the topic of race. Ketanji Brown Jackson learns during this hearing that black Democrats don't vote for black candidates in Louisiana. Ketanji Brown Jackson did not ask the question, what are the quality of the candidates? Are they good candidates? Do they have positions that appeal to voters in the state of Louisiana? Or are they hardcore progressives that Democrats in Louisiana, not being hardcore progressives, can't stand? Are they performative? Do they have any experience? Or are they simply DEI candidates like she, Ketanji Brown Jackson, is a DEI Supreme Court justice? She doesn't ask any of those questions. She doesn't care that there's no proof at all that any of this has anything to do with racism. She simply wants an outcome. And that outcome is to have an all-black district, because only by having all-black districts can you get black people elected. This is the black-on-black mental abuse. She's telling black Americans, white people hate you so much, even white Democrats won't vote for you. So here's Ketanji Brown Jackson in this exchange, and she is effectively saying, in fact, says at the end of this, that black voters are disabled.
I guess I'm thinking of it, of the fact that remedial action absent discriminatory intent is really not a new idea.
So absent discriminatory intent, remedial action, forcing people to do some things to remediate an issue, is not unusual, even if there's no actual racism involved or actual intent to discriminate. Got that? Keep that in mind as she gets to her close of her statement here. Let's go back to the DEI hire, Ketanji Brown Jackson.
In the civil rights laws. And my kind of paradigmatic example of this is something like the ADA.
Americans with Disabilities Act. My godmother helped write that. She is a conservative Catholic Christian, Jesus-centered Catholic. She helped write this because as a teacher in college, professor, she saw people not able to get into her buildings. So it's a well-intended piece. No one ever said people built buildings to be discriminatory, but people could not get into the buildings. This is an important distinction. They could not get into libraries or hospitals or bakeries. This is an important distinction that Ketanji Brown Jackson then just erases and doesn't care about. Then she continues.
Congress passed the Americans with Disabilities Act against the backdrop of a world that was generally not accessible to people with disabilities. And so it was discriminatory in effect because these folks were not able to access these buildings. And it didn't matter whether the person who built the building or the person who owned the building intended for them to be exclusionary. That's irrelevant. Congress said the facilities have to be made equally open to people with disabilities if readily possible. I guess I don't understand why that's not what's happening here. The idea in Section 2 is that we are responding to current day manifestations of past and present decisions that disadvantage minorities and make it so that they don't have equal access to the voting system, right? They're disabled. In fact, we use the word disable in Milligan. We say that's a way.
Okay, so they're disabled. Just think of how far this mental abuser has to twist this stuff. Are black people able to fill in a box on an envelope saying I vote for this person, on a paper in an envelope, and then sign it and then send it because it doesn't require postage? I mean, mail-in balloting is an utter fraud. It's an imitation for fraud. It is walking, breathing, talking vote fraud. And black people can do that. Just like black people can get IDs and driver's licenses and bank accounts, and much to the chagrin of people like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they can even sign up for an AOL account. So she says that they don't have access to the voting systems, but they do. So she's taking a districting issue and pretending it's an access issue. She has to do this because she's a mental abuser. She can't say that there are candidates that are running who happen to be black, who also happen to be insanely unlikable. Take, for instance, Kamala Harris. She was so unlikable, she couldn't get to 1% in the Democrat primary when she ran against the figurehead. She was so unlikable, they wouldn't even have a Democrat convention. I mean, they had the convention, but not the votes. Not a single vote for that woman. So were black people denied voting access then? Yes, much more than they are in Louisiana, where they can and do vote. In fact, the turnout for black voters in the South has increased. Praise God, I guess, if they're educated voters. I happen to think that white, black, whoever, if you're not educated, you should stay home. That's just me. So that's Ketanji Brown Jackson, one example of this. Another is Barack Hussein Obama, who recognizes that AOC being the spokesperson for the Democrats, and once again, Bernie Sanders being the spokesperson, or Nancy Pelosi or Gavin Newsom is killing his grift machine, the Democrat Party. So he's once again pushing himself back up into the national spotlight and likewise abusing black voters mentally, black on black mental abuse. I'll show you what I mean here in a second. You know, there's good things that come out of the liberal states. Alan Soaps comes out of California. We're about to talk about California with Barack Obama sticking his nose into this. The good thing that came out of there is world-class soap that has some advantages over other soaps that are world-class brands. So there's brands of soap that are world-class, instantly recognizable, such as you get Dove. Boom, instantly recognizable. Where's it made? And who makes it? How many chemicals are in it? What's their position on DEI? Do they give money to the chemical and surgical abuse of kids? Allen Soaps doesn't. Where's Allen Soaps made? It's made in the Midwest, in the United States of America. Who makes it? A family. How long have they done it? 3 generations. Are there chemicals in it? None. Is it gentle on your skin? Absolutely. Are the fragrances unique? Yes. Does it come in non-fragrance? Yep. Does it have a mission beyond soap? Absolutely. To employ people like Alan, who the rest of the world wanted to have been unalived in the womb. Does he work there today? Yep. Every single day. Quality control, packaging, inventing new soaps. His brother works there as well. Both of these boys would be turned away from employers. Can I buy it? Yep. AlanSoaps.com/Todd. They'll get a special discount. You do. You get 10% off all the products there, and if you love it, then subscribe and continue to support a company that supports the fact that all lives matter. It's AlanSoaps.com/Todd. So Barack Hussein Obama knows he cannot allow the current crop of the squad, Ilhan Omar, to be the face of the Democrat Party. He can't allow that. He can't allow Nancy Pelosi to do this. That frightens everybody. So Barack Obama is sticking his nose back into politics. Here's Obama talking about Proposition 50 in the state of California. The message here being, we can't continue to let Republicans decide how we vote in California.
Like many of you, I've become increasingly concerned about the rising wave of authoritarianism sweeping the globe. We're seeing politicians target civil society, undermine freedom of the press, weaponize the justice system. And no one is being spared. Even countries that thought they were immune from wholesale assaults on democracy now understand we're all part of this struggle. That's an enormous challenge, but it also means we can learn from each other. I recently sat down with 3 leaders who are part of the Obama Foundation's alumni network to discuss their work in Hungary and Poland, 2 countries on the leading edge of confronting autocracy. People like Stefania, Sandor, and Susanna, they give me hope.
So he goes and talks about the Obama Foundation wanting to make sure that we don't fall into tyranny. This, of course, the guy who used the justice system tyrannically to go spy on Trump land, tyrannically to put in prison some of his employees and team members, tyrannically used our system to block the prosecution of drug gangs bringing heroin into our country, tyrannically decided to, against the law, give Iran hundreds of billions of dollars. During the same session, Barack Obama recorded a message about California, about this hyper-partisan bill, this Prop 50 that he's deeply, deeply against.
California, the whole nation is counting on you. Democracy is on the ballot November 4th. Republicans want to steal enough seats in Congress to rig the next election and wield unchecked power for 2 more years. Prop 50, you can stop Republicans in their tracks. Prop 50 puts our elections back on a level playing field, preserves independent redistricting over the long term, and lets the people decide. Return your ballot today. Vote yes on 50.
Barack Obama telling black people again, Republicans intend to come and steal the elections. Look at the visuals and the ads. That's exactly what this is meant to do. This unchecked power that Trump has, while the government shut down while he wants it open. This unchecked power he has where he's being told now by a rogue judge in California that he doesn't have the right to fire people from the executive branch because she finds it icky. That unchecked power. See, Barack Hussein Obama is transmitting all of this when the fact is California has independent redistricting. They voted it in. Prop 50 undoes this. And you don't have to go far into California, far into Los Angeles to see the effects of Democrat policies on black families. Simply go look at their black-on-black crime, their black-on-black victimization, black perpetrators who are victimizing black young people. You don't have to look far to see that. Barack Obama and Ketanji Brown Jackson are a lot of things. They're duplicitous, they're liars. Ketanji Brown Jackson is unqualified for anything. They are also perpetrators of black-on-black mental abuse. And may God forgive them for that, because he's going to have to if they want any future.